Hello there, this is Mark again, 26 Media. So today's tutorial I'm gonna show you how you can edit this picture. This is how the original picture is and was taken, and this is how it looks now. It was like this. I don't know if you can see in today's tutorial.
All techniques is pimple removers and playing with backgrounds and all that. Alright, let's go ahead and jump in there. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna select this picture and we're gonna drag this one inside, not here but here on top, because if we this will be part of this, I'm gonna drag it. It can create its own window or folder. So the first thing I want us to do is to unlock this guy, and after unlocking I want us to duplicate this, duplicate again, just drag it to the plus sign under the layers. And the reason why we did it is because so that when we are editing we can always compare and see how it looks, to see how it was and how it's looking now. Alright, let's go ahead. The first one is which we're gonna be editing. Besides comparing, I do like this in case I make so many changes and I want to go back in time. I can just ignore them and go to the next ones. Alright, the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna zoom in. Zoom in is Alt and scroll up and down. The first thing I do to my images, I remove the pimples and things that are not nice and funny. Like in this case, I think those are a birthmark, or I don't know, maybe she was born like that. But I want to remove so that you guys can see how it works when you want to remove these guys. The size is too big. Let me make the size a bit small. When you're removing the pimple, make sure that the circle, the brush is the size of the pimple, right? That one is gone. That one is gone. Of course, we don't need to remove the whole picture because this is an action that is actually not really very difficult. So I'm just gonna remove some of them, but if you want, you can go ahead and remove all of them and make sure that everything else is gone. But make sure that this circle should always be the size of the pimple. If it's too big, it's gonna make the image not to look nice. Like for instance, if you want to remove the eyes, you make sure that it's the size of the eye. Like this. So that is what it's gonna do to the eyes. Basically what it does is it covers where you click, and it brings what is around it to cover this part, because the skin, everything is almost the same color, so it's gonna cover with what is in around here. It actually looks nice. I mean, not nice like beautiful, but I wanted to do this so you can understand what this tool does. So let me go back. Alright, so you can go ahead and remove all the pimples depending on the picture you're designing. So the next thing I do to the pictures is this. I select a picture and I go to image, adjustment, and this one, brightness and contrast. Brightness and contrast is the next thing I do when I'm editing pictures. and make sure that the brightness is the proper. There is no really secret. Sometimes the image is too dark, so you want to make it light. Sometimes it's very light and you want to make it a bit dark, and sometimes you want to play with the contrast. Sometimes you want to have it like this, sometimes you want to have it like this. So it will depend on how your image is looking. In this case, I'm gonna increase a bit here, increase a bit here, something like this, so that they're not so dark. And then if you're happy with that, you say okay. And the next thing I normally do to the images, I go to filter, and then I go all the way to camera raw filters. Under camera roll, you're gonna learn. You can also try all those blue, noisy, pixel, shape, style, video, and all that if you want. You can also go liquifying. It's easy things to do, but I'm gonna quickly go to camera roll because it's one of the most important one. It's one of those options that you really want to learn. Alright, so this is how camera roll works. You can zoom in if you want, or you can zoom out, it's up to you. But the way it works is like this. This is how I learned to work with camera roll, and it was very easy to me. The easiest way for you to understand how camera roll works is by increasing all the way, or increasing all the way the percentage of the filters that we have. We have different filters here. What I do is, this one is actually, these two is actually one nice one, so that it can allow you to see, to clarify the images very well. So what you do is, you take all the way down or all the way up, so you can see how and what it does. And then after that, you go slowly until it gets to the tone you want. I go all the way up and all the way down, and then you go slowly back way to us, so that you see which side or which direction you would like to go according to how you want your image to look like. There is no secrets to this. There's no rule, as long as the image looks as you want. But there is one thing that I normally like to do on the pictures, and I'm gonna show you. Check how the texture looks like. When I bring all the way up here, they look a little bit old, but when I bring all the way here, you can see that the image, it doesn't look blurry, but it looks, their skins gets like clear. Can you see what it does? You can still see the image properly, but their skin is very nice and smooth. So this is what I did to make sure that the skin is very nice. So I just decrease a little bit here, and it's just looking like this. After removing the pimples, you decrease the texture. The image is a little bit more clear. Majority of the people do that a lot on the pictures. You can do the same, but if you remove too much, the picture looks fake. But if you increase too much, it doesn't really look very good. But you can always just reduce it, not so much, but just a bit.
Use this one work majority of the time. The skin. This is how we make our skin looking nice and things like that. So you can go ahead and play with all of them. Check how the shadow's gonna do to your picture. Remove, increase, delete, remove, and make sure. Just play with them. But these three are the things that make your picture skin to look proper, good, and better. I just so you can see difference. But in your case, sometimes the pictures are very good that you don't really need that. When you hit OK, it's gonna process low and apply it, and then send you the result. Leave it like this. so that you can always hide to see it before and show to see how it looks now. Can you see? This is what we did to our image, and this is what we normally do to them. So if you want to remove the background, majority of the time I go to eraser and I use the magic eraser tool. If you check, the background is gray. If I delete the background, it's gonna be white. I mean, it deletes all of it, it's gonna be the same. It's gonna give the original background. I think it's not applying very much because this is a little bit too low. Let me make it 50% at least, and then I delete. Let me make it 100%. And the background is deleted. Let me hide here, because I think it was deleting, but because this guy was showing and you couldn't see properly. I think you can see better now, but this is not so nice. I think this is better. The background is removed, and you can always put any other background if you like. For instance, I can do this. I can take this guy and bring here. Let me go to selection tool. Let me bring this guy here. Okay, this image is web image. Let me look for another picture with a different format. You can get any image you like in this case I'm just gonna use this black image. Maybe you can look for a nice image like a sky background or something like that. Let me check here. I should have a sky background picture or something nice and creative. Let me check here, downloads. I can't believe I don't have a nice background here to show you, but I can maybe use this guy.
So after I'm happy with it, how the picture should look like, you can either click here to say OK or double click. It's the same thing, and then it's gonna place the image. Now if I want the image to be the background of the picture, what I do is this: I drag this guy down. It's going to be the background of the picture, so whatever is there is going to be the background of the picture, and then later you can align these guys properly. So this is how Photoshop works. You basically use Photoshop to do those things. You can always change the background, you can make the image looking clear, and after that you can save as PDF or as image. So what you do is this: you click on file and then save. And it's gonna ask you if you wanna save as Photoshop. I normally save as Photoshop first, and then I save again as JPEG. The resolution, as always, I choose the highest, which is this one. The highest resolution is okay for me. Progressive is good. everything is okay the way it is, and I can hit OK. Let's save as the image. If I wanna save as Photoshop, I can also go there, file, save, and then I save as Photoshop. It doesn't allow me because it's still loading. It's not yet done saving, so I have to wait until it's done. Now it's done, I can go save again as Photoshop, and this is how it basically works. I hope I helped you with this class, and I hope you learned anything or a good bit. And thank you so much. That was the last class for our course. Have a good day, have a good time, and we'll keep in touch.